Hey, it's been a while. I've been wanting to get back into making videos for a while, and I thought, hey, it might be nice to make something quick and small as a way of getting myself back in the saddle, getting those gears moving, and hey, they've announced a new Digimon game lately, and I'm kind of a Digimon channel, so I thought I'd talk about it. They also announced a new Pokemon game, and I want to talk about that as well, also to artificially inflate the video, but also I think it would be fun to talk about both of these classic monster series that I happen to like a lot. Unlike my normal videos, which are normally heavily scripted, this is going to be kind of off the cuff and kind of just me talking at the mic and seeing where my mind goes. Like, I do have some notes, but this is going to be very much not like my normal videos. I don't plan on doing a bunch of these, but once again, seemed like a great way of getting back into it and giving my thoughts with you guys since I don't really do that a lot. And yeah, feel free to share your own thoughts on either or both of these games in the comments below. I'd love to see them. But yeah, Digimon Time Stranger. I mean, how long have we been waiting for this one? As much as I love Survive, I know everyone was kind of waiting for the next big new Digimon game. And with Namco Bandai flopping lately, as well as the fact this game has been taking so long, alongside Habu Kazumasa, the person who's been in charge of the last few Digimon games, leaving, I know a lot of us were worried about the future of the series, but at the same time, I wasn't too worried. Like, the card game has been doing really well, so I knew it was kind of inevitable that they'd want to cash in on that just for, the brand recognition. Since it's actually as strong as it's ever been, like, Cyber Sleuth on Steam is still doing pretty well, and a game that's still being spread to people just because, it's like $5 every other month for 2 games at 5 gigabytes apiece, but still. I'm happy to see this game finally out, and it looks great. And more than just the game being announced, it's also the fact that it's doing a lot of stuff that we wanted to see. One of the biggest things that we've kind of known for a while that was never, I think, officially revealed, but it was leaked somewhere or something like that, was the focus of the game being on the Olympus 12. This is a really cool group that, while they have been in games and animes before, they've never really had a dedicated story like the Royal Knights have gotten for the past, 5 games, 10 animes, 30 visual novels, I don't know. Royal Knights are such a cool group that have been used to the ground, so I'm really happy to see that this group is getting its own dedicated game. A lot of its members are super cool. As a person who grew up with Digimon World Dawn, I'm happy to see Apollomon possibly come back. I don't know if they're going to bring back the whole line, though. Coronamon took probably the most dangerous, lethal stray a Digimon could ever take, just considering, past 2 years, but still, I'm happy to see this as a concept, and the game just looks great. Like, I think the only thing in the Sleuth series that really bothered me was the overuse of certain area designs. And one, the areas in this game look absolutely beautiful, absolutely great. But no, they went out of their way. Not only do we have beautiful new areas, beautiful new character designs, but the Digimon themselves, from just what we've seen, those models look great. Like, I would have been fine if they just reused the Sleuth models, not forever, but for a while. But the fact that they went out of their way to show all this upgraded stuff, it gives me a lot of confidence in this game. Like, they're obviously putting a lot of effort, and the fact is, like, as well, with that point, we're seeing a dub for the first time in the story series, which is funny considering, we got dubs. Well, we got a dub for a non-very story-based game, but to see that in this game, I feel like it's showing that they want to put a lot of confidence, they want to put a lot of work, they want to put a lot of effort in that game. In this game, I'm sorry, once again, one take, verbal flub, but still, gives me a lot of confidence in that this is going to be good. And, everyone I've seen talking about this game is so hyped for it. Pokemon we're going to talk about, there's going to be obviously some division, but no, every Digimon fan I've talked to, every Digimon fan I've seen, world fans, story fans, survive fans, everyone's hyped for this game because it just looks great. I'm also just so excited because one of the things I kind of wanted, I was thinking about making a what do I want to see video, and one of the things is I would have loved to see something closer to the Digimon 02 anime where they kind of blend real world and digital world, and I think that's exactly what we're getting. In the trailer, we see both real world and digital world areas, so we're gonna still have some of those areas from like Sleuth, some of those classic Japanese areas, but then we're gonna have places in the digital world, and I'm really excited to see that blend and the idea of this time traveling, time hopping, time stranger journey. It just seems really cool to me. I'm very excited for it. And God, what a great trailer. This is one of my favorite trailers I've seen in such a long time. I really love trailers that just bait people. Because, if you're a Digimon fan, you probably could have told because, it was somewhat close to the Sleuth style and there were signs. But for the most part, it's like, you know, if you're not a Digimon fan, you're just seeing, oh, Japan, oh, areas, and then the wall breaks open and there's Metal Greymon. So it's one of my new favorite trailers of all time. Just such a great trailer. And there are things that I am hoping to see in this game as well. If you watch my sleuth review, one of my problems was what the signature moves for Digimon were very unbalanced. So I'm hoping we get to see a lot more balance instead of just, hey, this Digimon has a Pierce move. Well, you use that because it's going to deal a lot more damage than anything else you can get in that game. So I am hoping we see a bit better balance. I wasn't actually too sold on the character designs when I first watched the trailer, but I'm becoming more sold on them, and I also like the fact that we're kind of like a train pilot attendant, which the fact that we might be traveling on a train through the journey just based off the trailer, I think that's actually a really cool idea. Like, the game just looks cool. Like, what am I gonna say? I'm a Digimon fan, the game looks good, we're all excited for it. And I think the only other thing is I'm really hoping that we get to see some of the cool new Digimon unveiled over the past few years. The TCG has a bunch of cool new Digimon. Ghost Game, an entire anime is gone, and I want to see, you know, Gamamon, Jellyfishmon, whatever the other one is. I don't remember its name at this moment. There's just so many cool Digimon, and also Crescarumon and Blitzgreymon. Like, Alter S has been in the game since World Next Order, and we haven't seen them in an actual game unmodded. It's like, can we just see them in a real game, please? So yeah, there's a bunch of cool new Digimon that I'm hoping we get to see in this game as well. And yeah, I know that I'm not really deep diving like other people, like, oh, 30-minute video going through all the details. Like, no. I'm probably not even going to watch all the trailers. Like, maybe I'll watch 1 or 2 more trailers, but I want to go into this game fresh. I want to go into this game excited. And if you're really curious about my thoughts, I'm going to make a video on it, guaranteed. You know, by the end of the millennia, because I make videos very slow, but still, I'm excited for the game. It looks great. And yeah, so let's talk about the game that a lot more people are not as confident about. Legends, ZA, AZ, Legends Z, I don't know. And yeah, some of the recent Pokemon games have admittedly not been great, and I'm actually one of the first people to criticize Game Freak to be like, hey, this Gen 4 remake is one of the worst remakes we have ever seen, and is kind of an embarrassment to the entire series, and also might be one of the worst remakes ever. Sorry if you're a BDSP fan, you're totally okay liking that game, but I stand by those sentiments. But also, we've seen them try in certain ways in the past few years. Like, yeah, Pokemon Legends ZA, there's some frame drops, there's some concerning elements, but Pokemon Legends Arceus was one of the most fresh games that Game Freak has released probably ever. It's honestly the second Pokemon game. All the other games, they're one game, but that's a second game, and so many cool ideas. And at first I was a little disappointed that Legends ZA seems to be after X and Y, because one of the cool parts about Legends was, well, it's a legend. You're going to these old areas, you're exploring this old region, and you're discovering it. It's the first Pokemon game where you feel like you're actually exploring a region. Here it's kind of the opposite, but that's kind of why I'm excited. The idea of exploring one city is a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it could be boring, homogenous area design, and that's really the thing I'm scared about most for this game, of it's all going to look the same, they're not going to do anything with the setting. But on the other hand, there's so much they could do here of they really need to double down and say interesting NPCs, interesting layout, interesting insides, like, hey, maybe the architecture is the same, but we go into different buildings, there's all these unique different areas. It's really going to come down to how they execute it. I think this game is going to come down almost completely to how are they going to execute the city idea. If it's bland and boring, I think the game will really suffer. But if they can double down on this idea of, hey, look, one city, but we're going to just focus in on it, explore every single inch, I think we could have something really special from this game. I'm also just excited that our trainers don't look like shit. I actually think Scarlet and Violet is a really fun game, but the trainer designs are so embarrassing, and the lack of customization is so embarrassing. I went to a school that had a uniform, and even in that school, like, we could wear different colored button-up shirts, different ties. Like, that's the first thing you think about when you think about anything like that. Polos, vests, and that game did nothing. But so I'm really excited to, hey, here's a game where we actually get to have good character design and good customization. I think that's another reason why I'm looking forward to it. And the active time battle system where you get to move and moves are different and they have ranges and reactive, like, it's really cool to see them experimenting. And I think that's the thing where it's like, a lot of people are dogging on ZA right now, and you know, dog on Game Freak, dog on Nintendo. Woohoo, the billionaire companies are being bullied. Like, no, it's good to do that. It's good to keep them in check. But for me, I remember us all dogging or being worried about Legends Arceus, and Legends Arceus came out, and frame rate was shit, and it looked like fucking Zoo Tycoon, but the game was really fun, so we all stopped caring. And I think that's going to be another case here if they really execute the ideas well of, yeah, the game's going to have frame drops. Some of the areas are probably just going to look like boxes with PNGs stapled on them, but if they can make the game fun, if they can make the game interesting, that's the thing I'm really here to see. Pokemon at its worst is uninteresting. I've been playing this series since my Game Boy Color in 8-bit, where it looked like gravel flowing across the screen. I'm okay if the games look a little rough. The most important thing is that they're fun, and the fact that they aren't even going back to say, hey, we're just gonna go into a new formula of each Legends game is going back in time. No. One city in the future, they're not sticking to a formula that Arceus set up, and I think that's the thing that does give me hope about this game, is that it really does feel like this Legends series is going to be about them just following their heart, saying, hey, what's interesting that we can make? What are new ideas that we can execute, for better or for worse? How can we make a new game that's interesting without falling into the same formulas that we're basically married to in the main series? And that's what makes me excited for ZA, is that it looks interesting, it looks like it's going to be doing something different, even if it doesn't execute everything perfectly. If a game can go in with the intent of wanting to do something new or interesting, I'm always willing to give it a try. And for people who are negative about the starters, I get it. It is weird seeing 2 Johto starters, as much as I am a big Johto head myself, but also, like, I don't know, the Gen 1 and Gen 3 starters got Megas, and Gen 2 stars outside of Cyndaquil's Hisuian form really never got anything, so I'm willing to let it slide just because they did kind of get passed over, and seeing potentially Chikorita and Typhlosion get Megas or just new final evolutions like the Hisuian starters, I'm really excited to see that. I also like Tepig. I'm a big Totodile head, but seeing Tepig there, it's tempting me. But yeah, I know a lot of people are down on this game, and absolutely, there's good reason to always criticize Game Freak, always criticize Nintendo, always criticize this series, and I'm gonna probably do so as well. But for right now, I'm positive on the game. I ended up being wary about Legends Arceus, and that ended up basically becoming my new favorite Pokemon game since Gen 4 and Gen 5. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. You know, obviously with that normal Game Freak, like, being wary, but yeah, it looks good to me. I think that's everything for right now. I'm looking over at my notes, like, probably shouldn't keep this going. It's been 13 minutes. It feels like I've been only talking about for like 3 minutes, but no, I've been talking for 13 minutes. And once again, this is basically all one take. So I do apologize for any real verbal flubs, any real mistakes. I'm sorry that this is not my normal style. I promise I am working on a new video as we speak. And it's one that I think a lot of people are going to like. It's a game that I really like. It is a Digimon game. So yeah, look forward to that. And if anyone actually listened to this, if anyone actually watched, thank you for taking the time to listen, as I basically just use this as an excuse to, you know, get back, get some practice in as I get ready to make that actual new real video. And yeah, let me know your thoughts on the new Pokemon or new Digimon game or both. And, you know, once again, sorry I haven't been making videos lately. I was really busy last year with my job, and right when I was about to get back to making videos, my computer for the past few years just straight up died and I lost everything. So I've been kind of trying to get stuff back, get, you know, motivation again after basically losing a bunch of progress on a project I was working on too. And yeah, once again, thank you all for watching. Hope you have a great day, night, whenever you're watching this. And I'm going to go play Monster Hunter Wilds and hope I don't get too distracted to continue making that new video. Yeah, I'm gonna get distracted.